Thanks for watching. Making
Try
it
it
work.
again.
Thanks for watching.
Making it work.
Boy, oh boy, we got to work on that.
Okay, let's try it again. Hey, welcome to this episode of Making It Work with Tim and Amy. So if you haven't seen the last video, you might want to go back and watch it because then this one will make more sense to you. So
actually, we've talked about campers the last number of episodes. We've done a lot of work on campers. We've done a lot of builds. We've actually owned ourselves five campers in the last 14 years, and every camper we've owned, every one.
There was things that we liked and didn't like about each and every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had to work on every one of them.
Well, yeah, because each one of them were
damaged in some way. Yeah. Whether it was a front end damage.
So the very first one that we owned was a hard-sided one, and it was a salvage tile.
Somebody jackknifed pretty bad.
Yes, that's what it was.
They jackknifed.
So the front end of that, I had to rebuild it.
Yeah, totally tear apart and rebuild. And I actually put aluminum diamond plate on the front, and strengthened the interior walls and put new sheathing and stuff on it. So yeah. So
what we liked about that one was, it was hard side. It had a full bathroom in it. And it had dedicated beds, but the problem with it was it was a full-size bed back in the corner with a bunk, like a twin-size bunk above it, and then the dinette made a bed, but made a queen size, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't want to have to keep switching back and forth with the queen and the full. Just we're too fat for a full-size bed. We didn't even have dogs traveling with us.
Try to get two elephants in a trough.
So then we went to a pop-up.
Yeah. The pop-up we bought, matter of fact, they couldn't even raise it up because the cables had busted on all of them. So we basically bought that sight unseen because we couldn't see the interior. But we could open the little door and kind of peek inside. Yeah, it smelled brand new. Which was pretty amazing. So I ended up bringing it back, and then ended up hoisting the top of that trailer, and then redoing all the cables up the columns and everything.
And we loved the pop-up. Yeah, it felt so roomy. It had a king-size bed on either end of it, plus the dinette slid out, and it had a little flip-out thing for the kitchenette. But it didn't have a bathroom, none whatsoever, which we had a porta potty in there, but I don't even think we ever used the porta potty.
No.
And then it was just a pain in the butt to have to pop it up and to get things in it to travel, and then pop it down and go somewhere, set it up,
pop it down,
take it down, pop it up, pop it down,
set it down.
Whatever.
Yeah, and then if it was raining when you get to your site,
gosh, or when you were
I would get absolutely soaked setting the camper up.
But yeah, it was wonderful as far as the roominess of it and stuff like that. But
we've not had a camper since that had that amount of room in it, which was amazing because it was quite a large footprint for how small the trailer was.
Once both ends were popped out, it was 24 feet long.
Yeah. And
then, the dinette slid out too. So it felt really,
and the dinette
really roomy.
Was big enough to have 4 full-size people in it, which we played cards down in Louisiana at a campground down there with 2 other people. Actually, it was 3 other.
Oh, there was probably like 6 people stuffed into that thing.
Yeah, there was.
Maybe more than we needed to, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we sold that and started building the retro after that, and
which if you look at the video, if I can put a link, we'll put it up there for you.
But with the retro, we loved the shape of it, and you know, the interior was built exactly the way that we wanted it. But I don't know, it just, by the time, it took 4 years to get that thing finished.
Now, take it for granted, it took 4 years because I work full time.
Well, I do too, but.
And it was a difficult build. We took it from the axles all the way up.
I think we lost
Lost drive.
Yeah, we lost drive on that one. Plus, then it had some. It sat and got some mold, and we had to redo. And I think that's when we really lost interest. We just lost interest in it.
It was a great camper.
You know, last child in the home had moved out by that point too. By the time we got it done, and it just felt like way more camper than we really needed. It just felt too big and too. I don't know. Anyway.
Now, anyway, with that trailer, she mentioned the mold. There was a little bitty pinhole where a screw went in the front, and rainwater had gotten in, and I tore the whole front end completely off and then rebuilt it all over again. So that trailer we built 1.5 times,
basically.
So. And
then the Teardrop. Loved the Teardrop. People still talk about our Teardrop.
Link up there.
And you know, we camped in it 4 times and took it on the Natchez Trace, which we didn't get real far because of truck problems, but it was too small. There's no place to go if it was raining. To change clothes, you had to lay in bed basically and stick your feet up in the air.
Yeah. Again, think of a water buffalo dead in the Serengeti.
It was a queen size bed.
Yeah, it was a great camper.
Yeah, and I loved the galley in it too.
Galley was out the back. It was very comfortable. It was her and I and the 2 dogs, which we slept okay. Mm-hmm. It was the changing. And
not enough room.
Yeah, not having a restroom kind of was a downer too.
And just if it rained, if the weather was bad, there was no place to go. Lay in bed. So then, you know, all of this has just been about us trying to figure out what's right for us. And I hope we have found it this time.
Yeah.
I really hope we have found it, because neither one of us want to build another one.
No.
Do you have ideas?
No.
I think you do.
I would love to do a bus conversion, but and I got very, very, very close on getting one of those.
I thought about like a
balloon.
No, a teardrop that was like a pop-up. So like on a pop-up framing and stuff, and leave the pop-up system in it. And so when you're going down the road, it's like a 4-foot tall teardrop, and then when you get to the campsite, it's a 6.5-foot tall.
And going down the road, and the wind catches it, and it becomes your parachute.
No, that's kind of what happens.
Now, with that kind of camper, though, I would have to learn how to do fiberglass.
But anyway, we're gonna get now. We're onto this. We're calling it the Tramper. We don't know. Yeah. Other people.
We had
call it
hobos
that too.
In our Tramper.
It's a trailer, like a cargo trailer that we've turned into a camper. And Tim's like, well, let's just call it a Tramper. So that's kind of how we've been referring to it. It doesn't actually have a name yet, but we've just been calling it the Tramper. And we did take it on we've taken it on a 1 week when it was barely.
We bought it.
It wasn't. The insides were done. Like the walls. The walls were done.
And we took it down to
no
Louisiana.
Cabinets, no bed, no anything like that. We just stuck a mattress
down
on
to
the
the
floor.
shores of Alabama. And then the one of the reasons we did that is so we could figure out exactly how we wanted the layout. Mm-hmm. Because there was so many different ways you could build. You see on the internet many people talking about different build processes, and you'll see that there's some in the bathroom in the front and the back. Some put a big cargo area in the back. I mean, there's just all kinds of things.
And ours isn't a V nose either. It's called a bowl nose, right?
Nose.
So it's kind of that slightly V shape, but there's just not a lot of room in it. But it feels obviously roomier than the Teardrop, and it pulls incredibly well. all the way out west and
Well-
back, what did we average? About 13 miles per gallon with a
Yeah.
Ford F-150. So that wasn't
Yeah,
bad.
so that was pretty good.
That
Yeah,
was
we
pretty
we
good.
did. There is some build outs on it that I did on the front for the gas, because I did not want the gas inside the camper. The battery compartment, the water heaters up front.
But up front, he means in the
Inside a compartment that I built, and
Yeah.
you'll see that in the
outside of the living part.
area.
But
So that really made a difference. That's where all the water comes in and is fed. Now we have this camper or tramper or cargo trailer or whatever the case may be
the
called.
perfect one. It's the one. Maybe that's what we'll call it. The one.
Number one. But
Number 5.
and number 5. But yeah, it's got a shower, and you put of course the porta stool inside the shower. It's got a water heater, of course, and
It's a porta potty.
it's got a porta pooper. And it's got a solar system that does the charge into the battery. We boondocked up in
The Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon 3 days.
And we boondocked at Cabela's.
Yeah, we boondocked at Cabela's. And
And all of those videos will be coming. But
yeah, and
we both work full time.
Yeah, we both work 5 times. So that stuff will be coming down the pike. But this is just an introduction as to
The Tramper.
the Tramper. So
Number 1.
What I'll do is I'll probably throw a couple of clips along with this one, and then of the Tramper, and then we will have a full video on the build. Not a detailed build on this one because I needed to get it done fast. And let's see, we bought it, and then I spent maybe 6 weeks on it, I would think, total.
We had a lot of snow days that we worked on it. Just getting it insulated and getting the wall board on. And then we took it camping.
Yeah.
And then we worked on it to get it ready we took it to Smoky Mountains. And then 10 days later we took it out west.
Yeah, to the Grand.
And we did stuff in between all of that. We were working on it all the time.
Yeah, and I am actually working on it right now, making cabinet doors. So we don't have to pick that stuff up every time.
Hey, every time we would pick up and move to another campsite, we'd have to like stick boards into the cabinets to keep everything from falling out.
Yeah, hopefully that'll change.
This should solve it.
And but that and the floor, we got to do the floor yet.
Yes,
Put a floor down.
yes.
We haven't decided whether or not we want to insulate the underside yet. We talked about it, and we haven't totally done it.
And we have a portable air conditioner in it, which works okay, but we either need to make it into a dual hose or just put a window unit in.
I'm all for putting a window unit in because you can't run it without 110 anyway, and you can't run it off the inverter that we have. It's a 4,000.
I have no idea.
I think it's a
That's your department.
I can't run it off of that anyway because I don't
know
want
what the curtains are made out of.
material. So anyway, this is just to give you guys an update what's going on, what's been happening, where we're going. There's a lot of things down the road that we're looking at, and maybe there'll be
Give you the
if I can-
grand tour.
yeah. So, all right, catch up with you later. Okay, here we are, all set up for camp. We are currently in Utah at a campground, and this is where we're set up. Got a canopy that runs into a PVC tubes, and then strapped down with those dog tie outs. And these poles are actually painter's poles. You can extend them out and up and down as you want. But this is so you can see how we've converted this trailer. We've got a porta potty and a shower. This is actually a working shower. And a stove here, a gas stove there with a sink. And I still have to put cupboard doors on there and there. As you can see, our companions are laying in the bed, and you can see we've got a screen mesh in the back. We can see out the back when we're not hooked up to electricity and we're not running that portable air unit. But I'll take you around the camper. Of course, we've got a light with a switch. You can see the cedar ceiling. And we got
okay, here we have our 12 volt or 110 Alpacool fridge. It is compressor and it works great.
And hold it down on the bottom there, there's two plugs. One is for DC and one is for AC.
So you just switch it out as
plug in whichever one you've got running.
Yeah, it'll run off of straight battery, and it'll run off of it likes the inverter battery.
Back down inside of here, there's a 700 watt inverter and a trickle charge. So when I'm hooked up to a 110, it'll charge, and then on the other side, underneath, you'll see a switch here, and that is that switches between when I want to run 110 off of the battery. I switch it all the way forward. When I'm hooked up to shore power, it's switched on number 2. And down there is the solar charger. We have 100 watts solar up on the roof. Actually, the kit that we got was from Harbor Freight.
Okay, stepping inside, got a light switch here. We've got an exterior light here. Got an exterior light on the back that will cover the ramp door area. And then we've got a switch here for these. There's 6 12 volt puck lights. And then we also have these 2 lights for the sink, for the stove. And we have these 2 reading lights, one on over each side of the bed. I already showed you the refrigerator. Let me show you down here. Clothing storage. This is one side of the dinette bench. So it goes all the way back. It's probably what, 3 feet long?
Yeah.
At least. We fit enough clothes in there for 2 weeks. But we have done laundry. Okay. And there's a nice stove top here. Works great. Electric start. We still need to get cabinet doors done. And we talked about I need some more space in here with there's just not enough workspace. So we talked about putting the door here like this. That can fold down, and that could be some extra workspace for the kitchen area. Lots and lots of storage. Just running water. And in here there's a porta potty and a shower head, so it's kind of a little bathroom area.
And also we've got 110 outlets here and one down here,
And one under here for the AC.
and one under there for the AC. Can't really see it, but there's one under there, and then there's one back underneath here that feeds to
CPAP machine.
a CPAP machine that's in a little cubby hole right there off to the side, and the hose comes out the top like that. And all over the cabin, all our camper, with these charging ports for our phones, camera, batteries, and everything that goes with what we're doing.
And then, of course, our beautiful view.
And some very, very sleepy
Content
dogs.
dogs.
They really enjoy the bed when we're
Check
not
out that view.
when we're not in it.
Well, they enjoy it when we're in it too.
Yeah. So, but
That's where we're at right now. We have we have room darkening curtains that I just got some room darkening curtains at Walmart, cut it down to size and put it on a rod, one for each window. The windows came out of an old camper. They're the jalousie, I think is how you say it. They just open up this way. I think they're great.
As you can see, we still got some work to do over here. I had this all trimmed up, but we took it all off because I had to work on the wiring.
Trim, cabinet doors, flooring. We need flooring.
Oh yeah, definitely flooring on here and on the drop down door.
And there's also a beautiful tabletop that matches this beautiful countertop. It's hickory, came out of our daughter's house, and so there will be a long, narrow table. This will be able to fold up.
Yeah, it's a dual. It's two benches. There's two benches, one on each side, with a table in the middle.
And,
but and of course, your ceiling fan and all that. But and then we step back here. We set the door down on two 8 crates, and we can lay in the bed and look out the window.
You wave it, Daddy. Good Daddy.
Your companions, you gotta keep your companions with you. And then come around the side here.
What about our view? Can you see our view?
Oh yeah, you can see the view here. That's our patio view. Yeah, backyard for tonight. And then over here, come around this side. Well, what it is, that shower comes out to a fitting that you would see on a camper, an RV, right there. And there's no holding tank because the trailer's too low, so we carry a blue tank with us when we don't have septic. So you can see we've got septic here right now hooked up, and we've got 110, and we've got hooked up water. So when let me show you how this is all set up inside of here. We've got a battery right here with this is a water heater, and that is hooked to the gas lines underneath here. You can see how that all works. And I've got a tank that goes in right here when we're not cooking outside, or if we want to use hot water, we can hook that up. And that is my kill switch in case I want to shut everything off to the battery. That's coming up here, the tube that goes up to the solar panels. Let's see if you can see them or not, how they're set up. And when we're boondocking, we'll have the gas in there, and then the water will come from here. And I'll show you right here. There's a tank right here inside the truck, and as you can see, there's a power. This goes off the battery, and it's a pump. And this hose that I've got currently hooked to the hydrant will hook to here. And I just put this on to the battery, and I have full pressure inside the cabin. And I think that's about 20 something, 30, between 20 and 30 gallons of water. And if my batteries are running low, we carry a generator with us. A 3600 runtime with 4650 full pole. So it works pretty good. So I built this so that heat coming out of the top of the heater here goes up into there and comes out here. And I put this up the way I did here so that when going down the road, rainwater doesn't get in here. But when we're using it, the heat can come out of those grooves. And that also gives us a little place for if gas for some reason leaks, it comes up. This is got gaps all the way around this board, and there's a couple of holes set up, and and if something happens in the middle of the night, I can always turn on my 12 volt, and I can see everything I'm doing, so it works good. But that's how we've got it going here with making it work. Thanks for watching Making It Work.
Subscribe.
All right, later.